All right, guys, here we go. Let's stay sharp.
Your friends are really good gamers.
Huge attacker spotted behind the tree.
That's you. Got him.
And you're no slouch either.
Okay, John, there's a green bonus block. It's all yours. It's right behind you.
But if your slow upload speeds freeze the game because you have cable...
John, attacker to your right. To your right.
And you end up succumbing to hordes of marauding robo-bunnies...
John, stop standing there. Run!
Can't move.
You're not a bad gamer. You just need better internet.
John, we told you to get AT&T Fiber.
Way to go, John. Nice one, dude.
With 20 times faster upload speeds, AT&T Fiber delivers a faster internet experience than cable. Get AT&T Fiber with unlimited internet data included. No annual contract. Limited availability in select areas. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT. Speeds not guaranteed and vary based on combined up and download speeds versus major cable providers' 1 gig service with uploads of 35 megabits per second. Restrictions apply. Check availability at att.com/getfiber.
Buying a used truck can be full of unknowns. But at Penske, we know trucks. Our expert sales team can help you find the right used vehicle to meet your business needs. Plus, at Penske, buying is easy with financing, insurance, and warranty programs available. Leave the unknowns behind and buy with confidence. View Penske's entire inventory, current deals, manager specials, and used truck center locations at PenskeUsedTrucks.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. Last night, we left off talking about the grand jury investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell and the rest of the co-conspirators. And things are heating up, right, folks? We know now for sure that there is an investigation running actively into the co-conspirators and into Ghislaine Maxwell still. So we know the charges are going to come, and they're going to come swiftly. But the question is, what sort of charges are those going to be? And for my money, it can't be anything else besides RICO. Now, the second another person is arrested in conjunction with these crimes, it automatically becomes a conspiracy. And I don't mean a Bigfoot kind of conspiracy, okay? I mean a conspiracy between two people to commit a crime together. And that is exactly what we're looking at here. Now, I've had a lot of questions in the last night since we did the article yesterday about who I think is going to be arrested next. And honestly, I don't have any inside information as to who is going to be arrested next, folks. I never sit here and blow smoke up your ass and make pretend I know anything that I do not know. But in my opinion, and from the way it looks, it has to be one of the core four. And for my money, the first one of the core four to fall most assuredly is going to be Sarah Kellen Vickers. Now, again, I don't have any direct evidence pointing to this fact. All I have is circumstantial evidence and the rumblings that we're seeing inside of the case. Now, I do have a source who told me that indictments are imminent in this case. Now, whatever that means, we'll have to find out, right? Does imminent mean tomorrow or in 2 weeks? We'll just have to wait and see. But there is zero doubt that more indictments are coming. There is zero doubt that other people who have not been named are going to be named. And it is also without question that there will be people caught up in the financial aspect of this that we never expected to ever have to answer for the crimes that they committed. Now, who those people are going to be? Again, I am not sure. I have not heard any names. Everything's being kept close to the vest. What I do know for a fact, though, is that this is a robust investigation, an investigation that is blooming, and it is an investigation that is most assuredly going to have a lot more indictments before everything is said and done. So if you are one of the people who were working with Jeffrey Epstein, as far as helping him with this criminal enterprise, financially or otherwise, I would suggest you find the best lawyer that you can, because your time to sit down with the prosecution, it is coming. And last night I was saying how they very rarely announce this kind of thing unless things are heated up, right? Unless they're almost ready to unseal the indictments and get things going. So I think they're trying to cause a bit of panic amongst these people and see what turns up maybe. You know, who wants to make a deal, who has information to trade. That's all about the finesse and pressure. When you have a prosecution and they're going after a huge criminal enterprise like this with many people who were involved, well, even if you were involved just a little bit and the prosecution shows up and they say, look, we have a sealed indictment with your name on it. You're getting charged with RICO. You're looking at 30 years in prison. If you want to shave that down and maybe get yourself a plea deal of some sort, we're going to need you to rat on Ghislaine Maxwell, the Core Four, and anyone else who is involved. And that's how they start at the bottom, right? And they work their way up all the way to the top, squeezing and strangling information out as they go. Kind of like a push pop. You remember those push pops where you push it up and comes out, and then eventually it's all done? That's how this works. And they're going to continue to pressure the lower players in the game to try and get them to rat on the big players. Now, I know people are like, well, they already have Maxwell. What could people rat on her about? A lot of other things. Maybe crimes we didn't know about. Maybe some financial issues nobody knew about. That's what happens, though, in these cases. Once they start rolling people, once people start signing those proffer agreements to talk, it is a whole new ballgame. And I believe that with the hint that there is still this grand jury investigation going on, this grand jury indictments that are coming, I believe that the people who are involved in this are in big time panic mode. And it's curious to watch what comes out via the news in the next few days to see what sort of breadcrumbs are being dropped. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that we are a far ways off, folks, from the end of the indictments. There were so many people who were involved in this, financially or otherwise, that if the prosecution is really doing their job, which it appears that they are now, then this is going to be an expansive, massively large in scope investigation. So I really believe with these rumblings that we are not far away from other arrests. Now, again, I don't have any direct information on who those arrests will be, but in my opinion, and as far as the evidence has led me, I would definitely think that Sarah Kellen Vickers will be one of the first people, if not the first person, swooped up once these indictments are unsealed. And another person who shouldn't be too calm, shouldn't be too comfortable, is the subject of our topic today, our article, and that is Eileen Guggenheim. Eileen Guggenheim is a disgusting individual, in my opinion. She is the lady that introduced Maria Farmer to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the lady that pressured Maria to sell her artwork while she was a student to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell because they were benefactors at a greatly reduced price. Eileen Guggenheim is also the lady who said she never went on a trip to New Mexico with Maria Farmer. But then it came out that she was lying about that as well. Another student came out and corroborated Maria's story and said that it in fact was the case that they were all in New Mexico together to go visit Jeffrey Epstein's ranch. Now, the ranch wasn't completed at the time, right? So it was under construction, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is this. Guggenheim has been proven to be a liar time and time again throughout this saga, while Maria has been nothing but truthful, courageous, and brave in the face of great evil, folks. And I'm sure all of you who are out there are aware of Maria's story at this point. Maria is battling 2 forms of cancer right now. She was the first person to report these animals. And to be honest with you, folks, she's going through it. Battling cancer is just a complete and utter struggle. I'm sure most of you out there have had somebody you care about battle cancer, and you know how hard it is. Me personally, I've witnessed it firsthand. The woman that I love, my soulmate, the only person besides my family that matters to me, really, she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and it rocked and shocked our lives. Everything was put on hold. Our careers, our dreams, our hopes, everything. And it was not easy, financially or otherwise. But at least we were together. I had her, she had me, and we were able to fall back on each other and use each other for support. And I would hope that this community will be that same sort of support system for Maria as she struggles through this. So please reach out to her on Twitter, send her a message, send a message to me and I'll make sure she gets it, whatever it may be. And also, she's going through some treatment right now that's not covered by her insurance. So there is a GoFundMe for her that I'm going to post in the description box. And if you folks have, the ability to throw a few bucks her way, it would really be appreciated, and it would go a long way in helping her. I know times are hard for everybody right now. I totally get it. But even if you can't donate, do me a favor and share it with your friends, and maybe somebody who is a little bit better off is able to throw a few bucks her way, because it is a tough road. And I know that from my own experiences, it is very, very, very tough financially on people when it comes to this. But also, like I was saying, please show Maria some support, man. Shoot her a message on Twitter, tell her hello, tell her you're thinking of her, whatever it may be. But just so that she knows that we as a community have her back. And I know from the past of what has gone on when Maria first came out and first came public, that she has a lot of people supporting her. And a lot of people have stood up and really, really done the right thing when it comes to helping Maria out and being there to support her. There's so many people I can name, but specifically Angela, who has been absolutely fantastic as a friend to Maria, and from the bottom of my heart, I am very thankful for that. Also, got to give props to Lisa and Jen over at the Prince and the Pervert podcast. They have been absolutely amazing as well, doing great work, unearthing things that other people have not found, other journalists haven't found. And again, I tell you folks all the time, I am not a journalist. I don't consider myself a journalist, really. I don't think I've earned those stripes yet. Now, Lisa and Jen, on the other hand, those are legit journalists, people that have been doing this for quite some time in a professional manner. And they have been absolutely tremendously supportive of Maria. So if you don't support them yet, I would hope that you get on that and you start supporting them. But for me, how I feel, Maria has become a very close friend of mine, somebody that I really care about, and I would really appreciate if you folks could support her and support her struggle right now, especially now when things are a little rough for her. So Maria, just want you to know we all love you. All right, on to the article today about this witch-ass, disgusting woman, Eileen Guggenheim. Now, we've talked about her at length here, and we were, honestly, not trying to, stroke the ego here, but we were the first people to really talk about Eileen Guggenheim. And that's because Maria and I had been talking since January, and we talked about this whole situation. And before Maria came out and went public, I did a bit of a surgical bombing campaign on Guggenheim to soften up the terrain, if you will. So we've been talking about Eileen Guggenheim for quite some time here, and we're not going to relent. We're going to dive right back into it, and we're going to have a rehash a little bit here of what occurred with her, who she is, what she's about, and why she is such a bipedal serpent. Our article today is from the Daily Mail. The author of this article is Emmer Scully. Headline: Prince Charles' former aide denies introducing student to Jeffrey Epstein on a study trip before billionaire pedophile abused her. And again, this is another person who should be brought in under RICO charges and spoken to about what occurred. How much money did you receive from Jeffrey Epstein? Why was he on the board? Did he have access to any other girls? What were you doing sending girls to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's house? Those are just a few basic questions that I think Guggenheim should have to answer for. And furthermore, by the way, she's not even a real Guggenheim. She's a faux Guggenheim. Fugazi. Prince Charles' former aide has denied introducing a student to Jeffrey Epstein before the billionaire pedophile went on to abuse her. Eileen Guggenheim, the former prince's trust vice chair and current dean of the New York Academy of Art, was accused of encouraging a student to flirt with Epstein because he was a big donor. And not only flirt, remember folks, she was also told to sell him her artwork for a pittance, a small price. And now remember, Maria was a young, struggling art student at this time. She could have sold that painting for a lot more money and set herself up pretty nicely. But instead, she did what a good student would do at one of these academies. I'm going to help the academy out. I'm going to sell this painting for cheap. And maybe later on, that'll come back in spades to help me out. Well, in reality, it was just the beginning of them trying to exploit Maria and her kindness. Miss Guggenheim has strongly denied the claims. Maria Farmer alleged she flew to Epstein's New Mexico ranch in 1995 for a study trip where she claims Guggenheim asked me to sit on his lap and flirt with him. Do it for the Academy, Maria, reported the Daily News. And again, look, Maria has been very clear about what occurred here. On my program, on Whitney Webb's program, on Jason Bermas's program, on Sean Atwood's program, etc., etc. By the way, all of those people I mentioned are all quality people as well. Great journalists and great warriors when it comes to sticking up for Maria and defending her. So thank you to all of them as well, by the way. But Maria has been very consistent with her reports. Again, I've been talking to Maria now since January. Her and I have been speaking. And she has never wavered from the truth. She has never wavered from her story. And she has never, ever once been anything but honest and truthful. Guggenheim's lawyer said the allegation Miss Guggenheim encouraged Miss Farmer to flirt and sit on Epstein's knee is categorically denied and completely baseless. Well, considering Guggenheim lied about ever even being there, why should we believe anything else this vile woman has to say? Or why should we believe anything that the institute that was protecting her has to say? In my opinion, the onus is on you to prove to us that you're telling the truth, because as far as we can tell here from all the evidence we have seen and from the players who have come forward, well, it is quite obvious that the Academy is trying to do damage control, and Guggenheim, for some reason or another, is still being protected by these other disgusting members of so-called polite society. It is vomit-inducing. A report by the NYAA insisted Miss Guggenheim, 69, played no role in introducing Maria and her younger sister Annie to Epstein, concluding there was no evidence to credibly support the claims. Maria's account of what occurred, that is evidence enough, my friends, okay? And then you add on the corroborating witness that came out and said, well, Guggenheim's lying. She was there. This really happened. And you have yourselves a group of people telling the truth, which would be Maria and the other witness. And then, well, you have the usuals on the other side, the absolute disgusting liars. Maria says both she and her sister were later abused by the pedophile. Another student who went to the Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe the same year said the young women were pressured into games with sexual objects. And remember, we read that story as well. These people are sick, okay? What, you think Guggenheim wasn't running around with Maxwell and Epstein and had no idea what they were doing? She had no idea what kind of monsters she was sending Maria Farmer to? Please stop it, all right? Don't offend us by thinking that that is going to work. That excuse is going to cut the mustard, all right? Because it doesn't. There is no excuse for you rich, so-called members of polite society to be friends with Jeffrey Epstein. You have no defensible ground. Miss Guggenheim originally denied ever being at the ranch, but later said she had visited during construction work. Yeah, of course, once she got called out and once a corroborating witness came out and proved Maria's account to be true and factual, well, of course Guggenheim's going to have this automatic memory. I did go there. I found my memories. I retained those memories. I just had them stuffed away. Give me a break. Does anybody believe this? So she starts out with a lie, right away with a lie. So automatically her credibility is busted. And why would anyone think that we should believe anything else she has to say? When farmer Ursula Rudenberg and another survivor went public with the claims, Guggenheim said she saw the property under construction, but did not visit any home there or have a meal there. I don't believe her for 1 second, okay? Point blank, period. Why would Miss Rudenberg come out and lie? What does she have to gain by lying about this? And furthermore, Maria would never make a story like this up. She reported it to the FBI. She reported it to the police. Nobody listened to her. Those reports are on file. Her lawyer said Miss Farmer's claims with regard to the ranch are inconsistent and have changed over time. Incorrect. No, they are not. Okay? They are not inconsistent. They have not changed over time, and Maria has been steadfast in what occurred. Miss Guggenheim's visit was very brief. She took a tour of the grounds with the former students and left shortly thereafter. That explains her initial failure to recollect having ever traveled to the ranch. Okay, so she drove, they went all the way from New York to Zorro Ranch. She took a trip around and that was the end of it? Yeah, that's cool. Great property, Jeffrey. Why? What is she? She's a construction worker? Is she an architect? She's somebody that understands in how things are supposed to be built? Stop it, okay? Just like Dirty Dersh wasn't there for an hour either. These people were at Zorro Ranch, and they know why they were at Zorro Ranch. It was only after seeing a photograph which depicted Miss Guggenheim, Miss Farmer, and 3 former students during the daylight on the grounds that she recalled her brief visit. Yeah, she forgot all about it, folks. Selective memory. Why would I remember going to Jeffrey Epstein's ranch in Santa Fe, New Mexico? That's not memorable, right? Especially for faux Guggenheim, who would do anything to be part of so-called polite society, even use a false last name. Guggenheim said, had any student expressed to me their personal discomfort over actions by Mr. Epstein, I would have immediately addressed the situation and offered my support. That's a lie. Maria called you directly after it happened, and you didn't do shit, okay? Basically told her to get stuffed. So screw you, Eileen Guggenheim, you disgusting human being. An open letter signed by nearly 100 students and alumni last month slammed its victim-blaming rhetoric. And we covered that. We read that article and covered the letter and the massive group of people who resigned their positions on the board. It said the Academy's response was to focus on discrediting Farmer's testimony rather than delving into Epstein's involvement with the NYAA board, financial ties to the school, or his relationship to Guggenheim. 100%. Look, Jeffrey Epstein sat on that board. He brought an exorbitant amount of money into the school, and Lord knows what other relationships he had. Don't think that people aren't digging, though. Like I mentioned earlier, if you don't think people like Lisa and Jen are going through this with a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass, you have not been paying attention. So we don't need the legacy media to do this. We have proven that over and over again. What we need to do is amplify the story of the survivors, and that, my friends, is enough to hammer it home. Their truth is enough to turn the worm in this case. The Academy's executive committee apologized to Farmer and vowed to give £22,650 to a charity for victims of sexual assault. The board said some conclusions in the report blamed Miss Farmer, and we regret their work. They were included. No, your whole report was garbage, okay? And furthermore, they never even reached out to Maria to apologize to her directly. They just put out this canned-ass apology, and we're like, all right, this is good enough. People are going to accept it and move on. They're wrong. We're done accepting your bullshit. We're done accepting your boot on our necks. And we are most certainly done letting you off the hook. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. Inside of the description box, you will find a link to the new Facebook page for the website, for the podcast. You will find a GoFundMe link for Maria Farmer if you'd like to donate there. And we will be back later on.
You know what this is?
A commercial?
Right, and you know what that means.
Time for a snack?
Wrong. I want you to do some heart-healthy exercise. Yes, you! Try some seated leg extensions right now. Just lift each leg up and extend it straight, one at a time, 6 to 8 times.
I can do that.
Yes, you can. Remember, every commercial is a chance to sneak in heart-healthy activity. Visit findexerciseanywhere.com and speak with your doctor to learn more about the risks of heart failure. You know what this is?
A commercial?
Right, and you know what that means.
Time for a snack?
Wrong. I want you to do some heart-healthy exercise. Yes, you! Try some seated leg extensions right now. Just lift each leg up and extend it straight, one at a time, 6 to 8 times.
I can do that.
Yes, you can. Remember, every commercial is a chance to sneak in heart-healthy activity. Visit findexerciseanywhere.com and speak with your doctor to learn more about the risks of heart failure.